During the 9th, 10th and 11th century, the geographical peninsula of Scandinavia started to experience the first arrival of the Christian faith within its shores. From the west, we got Saint Ansgar, who was the first Christian missionary sent to Sweden around the years 801-865. This brought eventually the Kingdom of Sweden to enjoy his first Christian king, Olaf Scott Konung, who reigned between the year 995-1022. We got King Olaf Tryggvason, who gradually converted to Christianity in a series of steps of his life. He acquired his Christian faith from Germany and from the British Isles, and many other people and events brought Christianity to Scandinavia from the west. But what about the east? As we can see from this map, this was the situation in Europe around the 10th century, before the Great Schism unfolded between the Patriarchate of Rome and the rest of the original unchanged Orthodox Christian Church. Now, even before the Schism of 1054, there already were differences between Rome and the other four Patriarchates of the Christian Church. As I said in my previous video, the Church of Rome made many changes to the original Christian organization and doctrines, while the four Eastern Orthodox Patriarchates remained faithful to the original Christian faith, without changing or adding anything from the Gospel, the early Fathers, and the first ecumenical councils. So around the same period of time, around the 9th and 10th century, the Orthodox Church was bringing the faith to the people of Scandinavia from the east, by way of modern-day Russia. But how did this happen? Consider that in the 9th century many Scandinavian Vikings, mainly from Sweden, sought their fortune in the Byzantine army as mercenaries. In their way to the Byzantine Empire they used to make many stops along the way, in what is now known as the territory of Russia. And here they founded their cities, like Novgorod and many others, thus founding the early Russian state, also known as Kievan Rus. In fact, the name Rus is a Northern Germanic term to define someone who row. In fact, the root is Rus, row is like in English, Germanic language, so Rus, row, because the Vikings actually they used to row a lot on their ships. So those Vikings moved back and forth around Europe. They arrived in Normandy, in Western Europe. They got to Russia, founding the Kievan Rus states, which were converted in the 9th and 10th century to the Orthodox Christian faith by the Patriarchate of Constantinople. Those Vikings did also got back to Scandinavia, bringing their new way of worshipping to their homeland. It is important to remember the stories of King Olaf Tryggvason and Saint Olaf Haraldsson. They were both kings of Norway, and they both for a certain period of time went living in the Kievan Rus states, practicing the Orthodox Christianity, the Eastern Orthodox way. Again, they went in the Kievan Rus states because those territories were inhabited by their Scandinavian Viking brothers. They in fact were all Vikings. It is safe to assume then that the Vikings from Scandinavia and the Vikings from Russia went back and forth exchanging among many things also Christian ideas and way of worshipping. Peculiar fact that I was noticing in my study was the canonization of Saint Olaf II as a saint. In the Roman Catholic Church we know that it is the Pope, the one who actually declares someone to be a saint, while in the Eastern Orthodox Church is the Synod of Bishop of a certain Patriarchate or autocephalous church, which decides whether someone is to be declared a saint or not. Now we know for certain that the year after the death of King Olaf II, 1031, the local bishop, Grimketil, and his people gathered together and declared in a local synod Saint Olaf II a saint, just like in the Orthodox Church. It is important, by the way, to underline also the fact that at the time in other parts of Western Europe, also those geographical zones under the direct control of Rome used to proclaim a saint in a synodal way. So, the canonization of Saint Olaf II in a synodal way, without the Pope, could just be customary in the Roman Catholic Church, the early Middle Ages, or it was done because of the influence of the Eastern Orthodox Church. I personally don't know exactly, but it was important to point out this fact. As we all know, the year 1054 is the year in which an official schism, or official split, started to take place between the Roman Catholic West and the Eastern Orthodox East. But what happened after that period? Now, what happened is that Denmark, Sweden and Norway, having to take a strict decision now between Rome and Constantinople, decided to side with Rome, while the Vikings of the East, the Russian states, remained faithful to the unchanged and original Christian faith, namely the Eastern Orthodox Christian Church. But was the Orthodox Church completely erased from the peninsula of Scandinavia after that period? Surprisingly, the answer is no, it wasn't. Over time in Finland, the Kingdom of Sweden and the Russian Empire had many times fought for the control of this territory. So, due to continuous Russian Orthodox presence in Finland, the Orthodox Church has always remained there. In addition to this, it is important to remember that not just the Finnish people, but also the full Germanic Scandinavian people, like the Swedes living in Finland, never abandoned completely the Orthodox Christian faith. Still today, in fact, the Orthodox Church of Finland, which is an autocephalous church which branched from the Patriarchate of Constantinople, in this church, the Orthodox Church of Finland, Swedish is one of the official languages adopted by the Orthodox Church of Finland. Just to denote the strong connection between these people, the Swedish people of Finland, and the Orthodox Church. That said, guys, if you are an enthusiast of the Norman and Norse medieval history, and even more if you are a conservative Orthodox Christian, you can find a positive and encouraging environment on our Telegram group called Norman Orthodox Knighthood. Stay well.